الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على النبي المصطفى سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I like to start by making dua of blessing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. Who is following our program, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless your family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if there's anyone in your family who's sick, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant that person shifa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you all on deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you, my dear brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves all of us. That's why we are the reciters of the kalima La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It's a sign of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves a person, yashrah sadrahu lil Islam. He opens the chest and the heart of that person for Islam. So this is a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us. But what we ask from Allah is to shower His mercy upon us. We all, sinners. كل ابن آدم خطاء وخير الخطائين التوابون. All children of Adam are sinners. They commit mistakes. They make mistakes. But وخير الخطائين التوابون. But the best amongst those who commit sins التوابون are those who repent. Oh Allah, accept our repentance. Oh Allah, forgive us. Oh Allah, we are begging you to shower your mercy upon us. Ya Allah, purify our hearts, Ya Allah. And on the day of Qiyamah, Ya Allah, we want to meet you, Ya Allah, in the condition that you are so happy with us, and grant us Jannah, and grant us, the suhbah, the companionship of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My dear brothers and sisters, our topic for tonight, inshallah, will be reading or learning few ad'iyah, few du'as of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he taught us beautiful du'as. And why should we make dua? وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ دُعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Your Lord is saying that, call unto me, أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ, I will answer you. If you, my brother and sister, if you are in any difficulty, you are in any problem, turn to Allah. Call unto Allah. Allah Ta'ala can hear you. Allah Ta'ala will, inshallah, answer your du'as. Do not despair. قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, say, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, O my beloved servants, Allahu Akbar. Look at the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse. The compassion from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse. After you have made many mistakes, you have gone beyond the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He still calls you ibadi, my beloved slave. Qul ya ibadi, say, O Muhammad, O my beloved slave. Imagine sometimes we get angry at our children. When they make a mistake, we get upset, And our friends sometimes, we stay days and days without talking to them because they have provoked us. We don't call them my dear friend, oh my beloved friend. Look at the khitab, the way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put this ayah, this verse in the Holy Quran. Now, الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. Oh my dear and beloved slaves, those who have committed sins, those who have wronged themselves, لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. Do not despair from the mercy of Allah. Why? إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives all sins. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has taught us beautiful du'as. And one of the du'as, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to say, Allahumma alif bayna qulubina. Allahumma alif bayna qulubina. Oh Allah, bring our hearts together. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. What a beautiful words from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. These words are words, more valuable than gold. These words have got more value than jewels. Now, so these are the jewels from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this is our program, the jewels from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, Allahumma alif bayna qulubina. Oh Allah, bring our hearts together. Imagine if the hearts of the ummah if the hearts of the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam were together, were united. Allahu Akbar. So this dunya was going to be a better place to live in. But because we are not united, our hearts are divided. The ummah is divided. Everyone calls to things that he is right, we are right, they are not, they are wrong. I am right, that Maulana is wrong, that Sheikh is wrong. We are, no, Allahu Akbar. Look at the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He called for unity. He called for unity. Allahumma alif bayna qulubina. He is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to join and unite the hearts of the people, the hearts of human beings, the hearts of mankind, the hearts of the ummah. Allahumma alif bayna qulubina. When the hearts are united, are together, the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes down. Now, the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes down. The rahmah of Allah, we all are in need of the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes down because He will see that the hearts are united. We all standing together. We are assisting one another. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold together, all of you hold together onto the rope of Allah, which is the Quran, the Sunnah, the Deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Do not divide. Don't cause divisions. Why? Because once the ummah is divided, shaitan becomes happy. And shaitan takes advantage, And now we start pointing each other with fingers to say, that group or this person, that person. We are better. They are not better. All this is from shaitan. We are one ummah. We are one ummah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he migrated from Mecca to Medina, what did he do? He built a united, ummah, Sahaba radiallahu anhum. He brought unity, ukhuwah amongst them, brotherhood. Allahu Akbar. Now, so much so that they were ready to even, share their wealth. They were ready to share their wealth, to say, you know what, you are my brother, I've got some wealth, take half of my wealth if you want, and I've got more than one wife if you want, I can divorce, and you choose whoever you want so I can divorce. She observes her iddah and you can marry that person. Allah, this is the amount of love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has, built amongst the Sahaba, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put so much barakah in them. So this is the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What is the dua? Allahumma alif bayna qulubina. Now, O Allah, put our hearts together. Unite our hearts. Bring unity into our hearts. Wa aslih dhata baynina. And reconcile between us. Muslims need to reconcile. Muslims need to come together. Muslims need to stand together and become like one body. That if one, limb is affected, the entire body is affected. Now, if we are together, inshallah, the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come. Allah ta'ala will definitely help us. We have become weak. Muslims have become weak today. Now, why? Because Muslims are not united. Now, everyone calls for his own, interests. No, we are one ummah. Look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is defining us in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He defines the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, He says, Kuntum khayra ummah. You are the best ummah. We are the last amongst the nations. We came last. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the last ummah, inshallah, the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will be the first to enter into Jannah. But for us to enter into Jannah, my dear brothers and sisters, we need to be united. We need to come back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Run towards Allah. Come back to Allah. Come back to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Come back to the Quran, which is the nur. Allahu Akbar. It is the nur in the heart, the nur in the grave. Dear brothers and sisters, the grave is very dark. In the grave, there's darkness. The only nur inside the grave, if you bring your torch. What torch? Is not the torch that you go and buy from the shop. It is the torch of Iman and the torch of good deeds. Such deeds that pleased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, so these were beautiful du'as of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma alif bayna qulubina. O Allah, bring our hearts together. Wa aslih dhata baynina. And reconcile between us. Wahdina subul as-salam. And guide us to the ways of peace. Allahu Akbar. Guide us to the ways of peace, where we can find peace and tranquility, where we can be able to tolerate one another. You know, Muslims nowadays, we lack tolerance. We lack tolerance. We need to tolerate each other. We need to give each other peace. We need to respect one another. We need to honor each other. Why? We are the children of Adam. Now, all of us, we are the children. We've got one father. And our father is Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. Our mother is Hawa. May peace and blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon her. Now, so all these divisions will not take us anywhere. It will bring us backwards. We need to go forward. And the only way that can enable us to go forward is when we are united. When we are united. And what can unite us is the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. تَرَكْتُ فِيكُمْ مَا إِن تَمَسَّكْتُمْ بِهِمَا لَن تَضِلُّوا أَبَدًا. I am leaving with you two things. If you hold on to them, firmly, you will never go astray. And that's the book of Allah, the Quran, wa Sunnah, and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, so we should learn this du'a, we should utilize these du'as. And inshallah, if we call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the du'as of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept our du'as. And of course, you can make du'a in any language, because all the languages are the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We take a short break, inshallah. We'll carry on after this, inshallah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. We are discussing few beautiful du'as of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, just to show, though he was the Prophet of Allah, he used to cry before Allah. He used to raise his hands and cry and ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He didn't just say that because I'm the Prophet of Allah, everything is fine with me. I don't need to pray. I don't need to ask from Allah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he used to stand in salah until his feet would get swollen and crack. Now, and when his wife Aisha radiallahu anha said, why are you putting so much effort? Why are you doing this? Now, what did he say? أَفَلَا أَكُونَ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Should I not become that grateful slave of Allah? Should I not show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He has made me a Nabi. He has given me a best ummah, best followers. Allahu Akbar. Now, He has given me good health. So much ni'mah. أَفَلَا أَكُونَ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. So I'm standing in salah so I can show gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am calling unto Allah so I can show iftiqar, that I am in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes happy when you call unto Him. When you make dua to Him, He becomes very much happy. And He becomes angry when you do not ask from Him. Contrary with human being. If you ask from a person, he will give you today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow. And one day he will say, you know what? My storeroom is empty. My storeroom is empty. But the storeroom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always full. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants us to ask from Him. Now, the storeroom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always full. Allahu Akbar. It will never go empty. Now, so ask from Allah. Especially, at the time of tahajjud, when the hadith says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends to the first heaven in the way that befits Him. Now, and he asked, is there anyone who wants to ask me anything so I can grant him? Is there anybody who wants to ask me for forgiveness so I can forgive him? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers our du'as at the time of tahajjud. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also used to perform tahajjud. And tahajjud is a salah of the awliya. You know, the people who are so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can also become a wali of Allah. Who can stop you from becoming a wali of Allah? Tie your heart, connect your heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your heart. Inshallah, you'll become from amongst the awliya. Of course, you cannot call yourself a wali. You cannot say that I am wali, the wali of Allah. Now, فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ هُوَ أَعْلَمْ بِمَنِ اتَّقَى. You should not claim to purify, or you should not claim that you are pure, you know, amongst the people, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one who knows the person who is so conscious of Him, the person who is, who's got more taqwa. Now, so carry on with the hadith with a dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, وَنَجِّنَا مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. Deliver us from darkness to light. In this dunya, this darkness of sin, darkness of kufr, darkness of nifaq, darkness of hatred, darkness of jealousy, you know, these kind of darknesses. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he used to make this dua, and he's teaching me and you. Why? Because we are his followers. We are the followers of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Says, وَنَجِّنَا مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. Deliver us from darkness to the light. To the light of what? Light of Iman. Light of Iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He looks at the heart of a person. If that person has got Iman, if that heart has got Iman, Allah ta'ala elevates the status of the person. Now, so we are living in this dunya for the sake of Iman, for Iman, to bring Iman in Allah. Now, and that's why it's very much important for us to make dua. Allahumma thabbitna ala al-iman. Oh Allah, keep us firm with Iman. Keep us firm in faith. Now, because there will be so much trials, so much fitna, so much tribulations, so many tests will come in life. Now, the hadith says, سَتَكُونُ فِتَنٌ كَقِطَعِ اللَّيْلِ الْمُظْلِمِ يُصْبِحُ الرَّجُلُ مُؤْمِنًا وَيُمْسِي كَافِرًا وَيُمْسِي مُؤْمِنًا وَيُصْبِحُ كَافِرًا يَبِيعُ دِينَهُ بِعَرَضٍ مِّنَ الدُّنْيَا. A time will come when fitna will be so much. There will be a lot of tests. And we are in that time, fitna of technology. We do not say that we should not use technology, but we should not be controlled by our lives should not be controlled by technology. We have to be able to control those devices, not the devices controlling us. Now, يُصْبِحُ الرَّجُلُ مُؤْمِنًا وَيُمْسِي كَافِرًا. A person will wake up in the morning, he's a believer. He's reading the Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh wa yumsi kafiran. And when the night comes, he is a disbeliever. Why? Because during the day, he has engaged in those acts, those deeds, which, you know, took him out of Islam. Wa na'udhu billah. Wa yumsi mu'minan wa yusbih kafiran. And the night will come, the person will be a believer. But now, because he will engage in those activities that will take him out of Islam, you know, to kufr, then when he gets up in the morning, he is a kafir. Wa na'udhu billah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us. Allah ta'ala save our children. You know, our children nowadays with cell phones, all the time with cell phones, we do not know what they're watching. You know, we do not know who they're talking to. That's why we have to become, you know, friends of our own children. If we become friends of our own children, then they will be able to talk to us about anything. But if we become hard and harsh to our children, they will not feel free to speak to us about anything. They will want to find somebody outside there who will become, or whom your children will feel comfortable with, and will seek advice from that person. And sometimes it will happen that that person will mislead your child. So become a loving father. Become a loving mother. Become a friend to your children. Be close to them and make dua for them. So dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَنَجِّنَا مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. O Allah, save us, deliver us from darkness to the nur, nur of hidayah, nur of Islam, nur of iman, nur of happiness, nur of blessings, nur from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nurun ala nur, nur upon nur, light upon light. And if you have this light, Allahu Akbar, you will have direction in life. If you have nur of iman, you will have direction in life. Now, and you'll be able to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all times. You will be happy with the decisions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a sign that there is nur of iman in your heart. Now, and if you do not have the nur of iman, you will stay away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the consequence of that is, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى قَالَ رَبِّ لِمَ حْشَرْتَنِي أَعْمَى وَقَدْ كُنْتُ بَصِيرًا قَالَ كَذَلِكَ أَتَتْكَ آيَاتُنَا فَنَسِيتَهَا وَكَذَلِكَ الْيَوْمَ تُنْسَى. There is no nur of iman in the heart. So there is what? There is darkness. Now, there is nifaq. There is kufr. There is, hatred. And that will keep you away from the remembrance of Allah. As a result, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whosoever turns away from my remembrance, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. We shall give him a tight life, a narrow life. You see, like a person who is driving, he is driving in the wide road. As he's driving, the road keeps on becoming narrow and narrow and narrow until it closes. He comes to a certain point where he can not carry on any longer. There is where the person now, spiritually, he thinks that he has lost hope. And you find people committing suicide. Wa na'udhu billah. Now, this dua is very much important. Allahu Akbar. He says, وَنَجِّنَا مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. Deliver us from, darkness to nur. So, just to finish the verse of the Quran, if the person, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي, the person who turns away from my remembrance, فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. For him is a very tight life, a very difficult life. No matter, doesn't matter if the person has got wealth, he owns properties, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not put barakah in that. Allah ta'ala will not give him, peace and itmi'nan, tranquility. He will always be in qalaq, worry all the time. وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. Now comes Malakul Maut. He will snatch his soul. He will be in his grave. He will get the punishment in the grave. Comes Qiyamah. On the day of Qiyamah, نَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. We shall raise him on the day of Qiyamah in the condition that he will be blind. قَالَ. He will say, Rabbi, O my beloved Allah, O my beloved Lord, O my Lord, لِمَ حَشَرْتَنِي أَعْمَى. Why did you raise me in the condition that I'm blind? وَقَدْ كُنْتُ بَصِيرًا. In the dunya I used to see, I was able to see. Allahu Akbar. Today I am raised blind. In the dunya I was able to see. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in response, He will say to him, كَذَلِكَ. Similarly, أَتَتْكَ آيَاتُنَا. Our verses, our signs, our prophets, our ulama, our scholars, our signs came to you. أَتَتْكَ آيَاتُنَا فَنَسِيتَهَا. You have forgotten our signs. You have forgotten our verses. You have forgotten the book, the Quran. You have forgotten the Sunnah. Nam atatka ayatuna fanasitaha. Wa kadhalika al-yawma tunsa. Similarly, today, the same way you have forgotten our signs, we are forgetting you. Wa na'udhu billahi min dhalik. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us on guidance. Ya Allah, guide us. Ya Allah, we asking you to keep us, with the nur of Iman in our hearts. Ya Allah, please, don't let us go astray. After you have guided us, Ya Allah, do not turn us away from Islam. After you have guided us. Have mercy on us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, shower your mercy upon us. Ya Allah, keep us on guidance. Ya Allah, forgive us. We are just your creation. We are just human. We all commit mistakes. We need your guidance, Ya Allah. Keep us on guidance, Ya Allah. Your guidance is very important to us. Your guidance is what we need from you. نحن في افتقار إليك يا ربنا. We're in need of you. We are in need of you. We're in need of your protection. Our children are in need of your protection. The Ummah is in need of your protection, Ya Allah. The Ummah is in need of your guidance. The Ummah is in need of Iman, Ya Allah. Spread Iman into the Ummah. Ya Allah, make it such that when we come on the day of Qiyamah, Ya Allah, we come with this nur of Iman, and that we enter into Jannah, Ya Allah. And Ya Allah, give us the ability to be in the companionship of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who have passed away before us, Ya Allah, we know we are going to meet you one day, Ya Allah. When Malakul Maut comes to us, Ya Allah, make it such that our last words should be La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, forgive us, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, forgive us, guide us. Forgive all those who have passed away. My dear brothers and sisters, we have come to the end of our program. Until we meet again, my dear brothers, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.